Gym. Welcome to EJ's Gym, a guide to elevate your mindset, champion mindset. We in here, baby. And big shout out to you for rocking with your boy. And where's my phone? Big shout out to the Order of the Hidden. This is a spiritual community I want you guys to check out. You know, I'm all about finding self and understanding self. So this is a space where people can share information about their experiences about life and experiences with their self as far as, you know, their soul, their spirit, or understanding what that is. Because we don't necessarily, not necessarily live in, that's not something that's mainstream, but we know it's real, right? Because like I mentioned before in one of my podcasts, when your spirit leaves your body, that's called death, right? It's no longer there. But we know it's there because when we go to sleep, something happens. You know what I mean? So when I say we are much more than what they're telling us, that's what I'm talking about, right? So big shout out to the Order of the Hidden. The Order of the Hidden is a compassionate space for seekers of all backgrounds to come together and support our planet and human collective for the better. Join our spiritual community. I'll leave the links below. All right. Now, we here, baby. We're in the gym. Now, I had a few things that I wanted to talk about. But at the same time, I don't know. Sometimes I just like freestyling, like talking about what's on my mind, I guess what's on my heart, you know, and sometimes I guess not necessarily I know how I feel, right? I know how I feel, and I know how I definitely want to, you know, go about doing things in life and creating this. But at the same time, my goal is to create a message, and I want the message to be simplified to where everybody can understand, you know, what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about, you know, trusting yourself or going within or discerning. And when I talk about discerning, because I was just watching a video that I made years ago about about discernment and walking by faith and not by sight. And those things, what I mean, and talking about spirit, what's inside of you is you have you have certain gifts, or you have things that's inside of you, like almost like a navigation system, like a compass, like things that will lead you down certain paths, things that will help you make decisions, and things that will help you understand reality from fiction. And we are not robots. We're not. I'm not. You could be whatever you want to be. But at the same time, if you are only aware of what you are aware of, so if your life gets put in a box, you won't know that it's another world outside of that box. And the box of society is so many: race, religion, gender, just everything, a box. You get put in a box. And I love to use my sociology background of the things that I learned or the things that I continue to learn within that subject. And what I try to get people to understand is that if you think of a child, think of a blank flash drive. Back then we had floppy disks, we had CDs, anything, memory cards, blank. I mean, when you buy it, you put it in a computer, it's blank, full of memory. Right? So society, when I say society, let me take not society, the child's environment. First, parents, family, immediate family, that first immediate circle uploads thoughts and ideas of how to live, right? Then you have the outside environment, which starts to become society, which is school, community, friends, neighborhood, right? Starts to upload thoughts and ideas of how to live. TV, news, media, entertainment. You were taught those things, religion. So I'm trying to get people to understand where we are right now is a design of a social engineering of not of your fault or mine, of why we don't understand what's inside of us. But we were taught to live the hustle and bustle, go to school, get a degree. It's a box. Not saying wrong or right. It is what it is. It is what it is. But it's time to wake up and see it's more than the box that society gets, that shapes our minds into. Society does not teach you about your internal power. Society almost teaches you to give it away. And everybody's doing it. And you have to think about it, right? And most humans go with what other humans are doing. Like a lot, like the masses of people, most people don't necessarily question things or don't question everything. They question certain things. Sometimes, like the best thing to do to really challenge your personal beliefs is to shatter your world by digging deeper, by asking yourself, where did this story come from? And why do I know it? Was it a story before this? Or was it something that happened before this? No, because time is just on going and going and going and going. And if you understand the game, telephone, then you understand his story, right? So that's when you have to understand the power of within, of discernment, of what the Spirit does, of that navigation system guiding you, telling you, no, that's not, no, yes, no, yes. But you don't necessarily, they teach you different things about the human body. They teach you about how to break down the human body. But I wish they teach you how to keep it together, but they teach you how to break down the human body. But it all works together. It all works together. It all works together in whole. You can't take a piece of somebody and fix them that way. We work in whole. So you have to learn how to kind of heal yourself holistically, like your whole body. It's a mind, body, and soul thing. Like health is not just necessarily, well, it has a lot to do with the food that you eat, but it has a lot to do with your environment. Of course, the oxygen that you breathe, your mindset, the thoughts that you take in. It's a combination. And what I notice, and people can say whatever they want, but I understand my body, and maybe I understand your body better than you understand yours, right? But hey, whatever, right? But what I see right now is society teaching people to put their health on others instead of taking the power within self to take care of self. Because it's a way of living where people don't get sick. And if you didn't eat crap, you probably wouldn't get sick. But they feed you, Lord knows what is in food nowadays. Lord knows what is in that meat, in those animals that you eat and consume. And you wonder why you're sick. You got to eat things that agree with your body. You have to eat not, well, animals would be dead food, live, living food like plants. Plants are living, right? They agree with your body. That's why, like, if you go plant based for a while, you look different in a positive way, right? Anyways, right? But they're teaching people to, like, I'm not, okay, I understand. My job is not to tell people what to do. I can only give people advice. I can only give people advice, right? But how how is living in fear healthy? In what way, shape, or form is in worrying and living in fear healthy? And and I still don't understand. I don't care what anybody says. Leave a comment below. Email me, do whatever. I still can't for the life of me understand how putting something over my face is healthy for me. you could call me selfish. You can say whatever you want. But I can't breathe. I think that's a subliminal message. What's the whole George Floyd thing? Say whatever you want, but I'm in touch with spirit, mind. I don't need these to see. I can feel. Understand the information and filter the bullshit. But I wonder how many people question what they hear, or do they filter and discern? Or they're like, oh yeah, this, listen to here. People die all the time. People die all the time of everything. Of everything. So tell me, how is living in fear healthy? And you tell me this is not a nation that living in fear. Making it seem like oxygen is bad, which is the healthiest thing for a human being. But like I mentioned in one of my podcasts, society is living backwards. Oh, I have it. Living backwards. Let me get a pen. Ha! Have a trick. Well, some people may know it's not a trick, right? If you live, oh man, shoot. Let's do it like this. Ah! Oh man. Anyways, I might put it on the screen because I don't know how it's gonna be backwards. Anyways, if you take the word, excuse me, if you take the word live and you flip it, it's evil. Evil. So, society is living backwards. Please learn how to discern for the life of yourself and everybody around you. Please learn how to discern. I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you. You were designed a certain way for a certain reason. You have a mouth and a nose, right? And you were designed to eat a certain way. You were designed to live a certain way. But it's all backwards now. I don't think you understand. Please learn how to internalize your power and stop giving it away. I know everybody's running down, because I went by the park the other day to go vote. And I have my views about that stuff. You know, giving people your energy that we don't even know. Your choice. Your choice. You know, you you give your power away to be manipulated. Learn how to discern. Learn what's in you. Learn the power of within. Then you maybe you won't go running for somebody to save you. Nobody gonna save you. You gotta save yourself. You gotta save yourself. You gotta save yourself. Nobody will save you but yourself. So you gotta learn how to trust it. You gotta learn how to trust yourself. You gotta learn how to trust your thoughts. You gotta learn how to find the thoughts that haven't been manipulated. But the Spirit will guide you if you learn how to trust it. Yours, authentic. I don't want to keep hitting the microphone. But you have to trust it. You have to trust it. But anyways, like I mentioned before about the child with the blank disc, and I want you to really think and put it all together, because this is when my eyes started to open. Even back then when I was younger, and I would dig deep into different articles, dig deep about religion, about, Christianity and different things, that, I grew up believing, like, where did it come from? And then once I found out the root of Christianity, where it came from, and everything comes from Egypt. Africa is crazy, right? Everything comes from there. And just how everything has been kind of manipulated and changed and turned around. But I encourage you to do your research on who you are and where you come from and why do you believe what you believe. Because if you never challenge yourself, then I don't understand what type of life you're living. Because a magician could fool you right in your face. And I'm telling you, man, it was this guy. It was this guy. I was back at, I think, I don't know, maybe I was 19, 20 years old, I want to say. And shout out to golly, I forgot coach name. My college coach, man, one of my college coaches, man, who was out there. I think Dobson was out there with me. Shout out Dobson, one of my old teammates. I think Coach Henry. Shout out Coach Henry and what's Coach name? God, I forgot his name. And it's former NFL player Steve Smith. He brought them. It was an offensive defensive camp in Charlotte, and Steve Smith was there with the kids, interacting with the kids. And one day in the lunch, I was like a counselor there at the camp. There with the kids. I was in college at the time. Going around helping my coaches, and I thought that stuff was fun at the time then. And we were in the lunchroom with the kids, and Steve, he was excited about this magician, man. And I'm like, man, why is this grown man so excited about this magician? Like, and the guy was doing tricks. He had like a coin in his hand, and I don't know, he was like making it disappear. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Like right in your face, like boom, like whatever. And then he was like, come to the show tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I was and I'm not gonna lie, I was joking around with Steve. I'm like, dude, why are you so excited about this magician? He was like, it's just a magician, blah, blah, blah. He was like, man, he's good. I'm telling you, man, he's good. He is so good. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I want to say that same night he had a show. So as we, as he's doing the show, he's calling kids on stage and different people or whatever, and he took somebody's like ring and threw it in the closet or something like that. It was crazy, and later on in the show, that person, he gave that person a quarter to put it in like a little candy machine and turn it out, and their ring was in there. It was crazy, but so he called me on stage. I'm like, oh man, he really called me on stage. I think they set me up. No, I know they set me up. Right. So I get it up there on stage, and he has a deck of cards, and he was like, pick a card or whatever. And I took a card, and I think the card was like a three or a diamond or something like that, three or diamond. And he told me to like write my name on it. And he was talking to the crowd, and it was like a thing on the stage, like a little thing with a stick, like I don't know. And I look, it was nothing in there, and he was talking to the crowd, like making jokes and stuff. And he said, put the card, like he put the deck of cards like on the back table, and he was like, put my card in between there. And he was talking to the crowd, making fun of me or fun. He was just saying a whole bunch of stuff. And so I took the card and I put it on on the table, right? So he's talking, and then he told me to put on, like, it was a big glove. It was like a big one of those, not latex, one of those like sandwich. I don't know what you call those. It's a big plastic glove, right? And he was like, he said something about a snake. Waking up a snake. I was like, whoa. And I was like, I don't fool with snakes, buddy. And the kids were laughing. Everybody was laughing at me or whatever. And he said something about that thing I was telling you about. He was like, waking up a snake, and I was like, man, it's nothing in there. I looked, there's nothing in there. And then he was talking to me, and I kid you not, I don't ever remember ever seeing him touch the deck of cards, right? So he making a joke, blah blah blah. He was like, just wave your hand over the thing and say, "Wake up, snake." I'm looking. I'm like, it's nothing in there. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, wake up, snake. And then he making jokes in the crowd and like, you need to say it louder, blah 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 blah. And the kids laughing at me, everybody laughing. I'm like, okay, wake up, snake. And then and then he started making jokes, and I started to walk some, like, I don't know where, like on the stage, like back. And then he said, try one more time. And as I started to walk towards the thing, something shot out of there, and I took off across stage. Everybody was laughing so hard. I ran so fast off that stage. And it was a toy, like one of those pop snakes. Them pop snakes popped out while I did that, and I didn't know. I just took off. And when I went back on stage, my card was on the snake with my handwriting. A magician can fool you right in your face. It happened to me. But when you have spirit, you learn how to discern, or you understand how to discern, so those tricks don't work on you. So I'm challenging you to go within, to learn how to discern, and find out who you really are, and stop listening to everybody else. Yeah, books are cool, but put it down. Go out in nature. Go take a walk. Especially if the weather's good. Take a walk. Turn off the TV. Do it. See how you feel. See where your thoughts go. See how you feel about life, and do it consecutively. Don't just do it for one day. I say 21 days is the key. of what you can control. Of course, like I know we live in a society, people work all people do is work, 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 and 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 work. No time for self. That's why you have, people suffer from anxiety and different things like that because they get detached from self. There's just so much going on. There's so much to do. There's so much expectation. It's not easy. But learn the power that you have inside you to conquer it all. Because you have it and it's there. I believe, and this is just my belief, that God or creator or soul or whatever you want to call him, he, she, whatever, put the power where people would not look. The last place people will look. The last place people would truly look for God. Or the power or the source or whatever you want to call it. The last place people would look is within them. And I believe that's the biggest secret that people don't understand. Understand what that word means and understand what you are and what you do and how you create life and how you create your world and how you speak your world into existence, the power of the tongue. But society is living backwards. So people don't watch what they say. They curse themselves. They curse themselves every day with their tongue. And they wonder why their world is in chaos. Bless yourself. Speak positive life within yourself. Because God is within you, not outside of you. That's just what I think. Maybe that's just what I know. But you get taught to look outside of you, living backwards, evil. Who taught you that? Who taught you to look outside of you? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how you're feeling, what you're thinking, unless you tell them. It's within you. You're omniscient. You're the only one that can see your whole life. You're the only one that can see your whole life from beginning to end or current. You're the only one that can see that visual. You know that? Everything you see outside of you came from inside of you. Everything, camera, eyes, motion picture television eyes. Everything. You created this. It came from inside of you. It was a thought. Then you spoke. Then you created. I don't know if you understand. But you've been manipulated to think otherwise. So you externalize or just give away your power to other people who manipulate you to work for them because they know the power that's within you that you don't know about. And this is just my theory, my thoughts. The chains are around your head. The chains are the shackles of being a slave. It's here. Just look at society. Just think about it. We use money, paper, with dead presidents, former slave masters. We use that as currency. We're electrical currency. We use that as currency. Former slave masters. We don't see anything wrong with that. We were born with a blank slate. We were given society. Society taught us how to pay for things using paper. And I made a podcast a while ago about the apple tree. You don't need to stick a coin in an apple tree. Living backwards. God gave it to you for free. Everything is yours. You don't have to pay for anything. God, the Creator, gave it to you for free. Food, water, air in abundance. But they taught you something else. They taught you how to live backwards. Evil. People don't understand where all these diseases and this, that, and come from. You're not living the right way. You're not digesting the right things. Because if you, the human body is amazing. If you give it all the right things and you treat it right, man, it's amazing. But you get taught how to live backwards and eat bloody flesh. You need living, live food. Best thing for the human body. Water. You are water. Right? If you want that not necessarily sugary rush, you just eat the fruit. Just eat it. You don't need to go buy a carton of juice with 500 grams or 50 grams of sugar in it. Evil. Why? How? How did it come to this? Or how did this happen? I'm 35, so I'm like, okay, this is what I know. As I'm born in 85. I'm like, what is this? like you really have to sit back and decode life and decode what's going on around you, decode what's best for your mental health, what's best for your physical health. Because it's like you get bits and pieces, but you gotta dig deeper. You gotta dig deeper. It's always more to what is in a book. It's always more to, like I'm telling you, and what sucks about society nowadays is that majority of the information is not necessarily in books, but majority of the information are in the elders or older people. But of course, in this situation, in this area, in this get taught how to eat all the wrong foods and don't get taught how to take care of themselves, so they die faster. So our generation gets detached from a lot of information. Real authentic information. You can manipulate books. You can manipulate a lot of things. That's why it's so important to learn how to discern. Very important. Very important to learn how to discern and learn how to trust self. So you don't lose that power. So you understand how to decode life and figure out, okay, this is the best thing for me to eat. This is not good for me to watch. This is not good for me to listen to. And oh man, and it's certain things that, I mean, like as I grow older, like I said, and I understand, like when I talk about, my community and the music and the visuals and the TV and just the thoughts and the ideas that get put in your mind about who you are or who you should be. But as you learn how to discern, you figure out what's false. You figure out who you are and you tap into that and you're okay with that. And people can say whatever they want, but there's a lot of lost souls out there. So people can say whatever they want because I believe in myself and I love myself 1000%. And I know the gifts that I have that I'm bringing out to the world. And I know what I bring to the table. Do you? Because my message is we all go through that roller coaster in life. So why not have a guide to elevate your mindset? Jim,